My melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies. You children popping mollies. I'm so intelligent, my honesty turned into philosophy. I go hard in the paint, the harder I play. Nigga, I'm like Harden on James. A problem to face.
What's up, fam? Drop a like, hit that like button, beaches. Hit it.
I don't fucking want what you have, just look at your life. Nothing about it sacred to me, it's out of my sight. That just means it's out of my mind, it's not worth the fight. Nigga, yeah, I'm out of my mind, I'm out of my mind. Hey, you did what you did. Give a fuck about intentions. You can watch what I do. Stay the fuck out my mentions.
But the games that you're making. And Swole every day, bro. Oh. Gym time, Swole time. Get after it. Get after it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Go hard in the paint, yeah. Bam, 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 bam. Smash that like button, beaches. Come on in, Swolecast, beaches. Oh, yes. Oh, God. Oh, God. Dun, 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 dun. Hello, Sarah. What's going on? Bum, bum. All right, we're about to get started. 50 seconds. Let's go. Let's make some gains. It's time to get started.
So let's play.
Come on, you chicken nuggets.
Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Rilla mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the
He's heating up!
same kid.
We're just getting started. We got some questions. I hope we got some questions today. We got a lot of questions, I'm sure. If you got them, I got some on the hook for you. We got a lot to talk about today, I guess. Let's see what you all want to talk about. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, hey, well, we can hold the peace or we can wage war, but I'm gonna get what I came for. Rilla gang, that's a crew name. We all graduated to the two-door. Second global, that's an infrastructure.
Swolenormous.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome to the Daily Swole. Testing. Testing testicles, ball sack. Welcome everyone to episode 1612 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and yo hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. We're about to release that beach, but if you don't know, now you know, motherfucker, that today is Ask Papa Swolio Live. So welcome to the Mancast. If it's your first time, drop some cherries in the comments down below. I go live here every single day. And we do have some new stuff around. We have some new stuff afoot. We have a brand new Extra Thirsty on the Swolenormous channel. We talked about it here on the podcast. Of course, you get the latest here first. You get the latest and the greatest here first, obvi. That's why you got to subscribe to the Daily Swole podcast. That's why you got to subscribe to this channel. You can't just be loosely following other channels. You got to subscribe right here for the live Mancast every single day. Every single day. That's right. Every single day. What now? What now, beaches? What now? Let's get some gorillas to get started, shall we? Oh my goodness. All right, let's release this beach, shall we? Let's actually go around the horn a little bit. What you got going on? What are you smashing today? What are you working on? I do want to make an announcement for those of you that are just coming in, that are fresh. Michael David Connell struggling this week. It's all good. We got your back. The Swole fam's got your back. Tomorrow, fam, we got accountability meeting tomorrow, Monday, October the 5. October is the 5, so a little round of applause there. All right. Tomorrow, October the 5th, we have 12 noon Eastern time. We got our accountability meeting. So if you love watching the Mancast, if you love the Daily Swole, you're only going to be able to catch tomorrow's episode inside the Swole fam. You got to go and sign up right now, swolenormousx.com. You get started for less than $3, and now's the best time to do it. Fuck your resolutions, bitches. Fuck your resolutions. Fuck it. Fuck your resolutions. Anyway, tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time inside the Swole fam. Be there or be square. Be there or be square. We're dropping cherries. Nope. Josh, you're not new. No, Kashina. No, not buying it. Not buying it. What are we doing? Pedro is doing Lower Smoke 2 right now. What program are you doing? What are you doing today? Who's doing Scorched Earth? Let's get a little round of applause for Scorched Earth. How many of you are doing Swole season? Drop that in the comments down below. And let's get started with some, let's get Tessie out of here. Let's see what we got for the card. Let's see what we got going on here, fam. All right. Cover your nips and let's bust this nut wide open. Put some respect on it. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. Cheers to you too, Leo. Good to see you again. You're looking good, my brother. You're looking good, fresh off the door. You could do better than Rose. She wasn't all that. That's just the best that you could find on the ship. I mean, limited choices. I get it, right? Oh, I love you, Rose. That's like the first girl, the only girl on the Titanic that's worth hitting, right? I mean, come on. You're settling, Jack. Anyway, all right, you're looking good, Tessie. Got your hair blowing in the breeze. Hashtag fuck your resolutions. And of course, hashtag APS with your question. Ask Papa Swolio if you want your question featured right here on the show, because this is Ask Papa Swolio Live. So we will do tons of questions today, starting right now. Drop those in the comments down below. What'd you train today? John, what's going on? Got my swole on today. Good for you. Looking nice. Let's see. I kind of want to get into falcon training. That shit is legit crazy. I know, right? I fucking know. It's out of control. It's a good way to get this party started. The fitness falcon. All right, let's take the first question. If you got a question, drop in the comments down below with the hashtag AskPapaSwolio. I'll also take hashtag APS. I'll take both. All right, and if you want to win today's Swole card, you can also drop hashtag FYR. I get it. You don't have to do the whole, let me move this over a little bit. You don't have to get the whole fuck your resolutions. That's a lot to text. So if you're doing anything important, aside from watching the Mancast, you can drop hashtag FYR. I'll take it. First question of the day is from, let's see here. It's from, let's see, Mac Attacks the Day. All right, Mac Attacks the Day. Let's jump in on this. Everyone tells you what foods you should eat, but what are your top foods not to eat? Well, that's not even the question. The reason why, I don't know it doesn't matter what anyone else says. What are my top foods not to eat? All of them. All the foods I don't eat. That's a silly question, Mac. That's a silly question. Like all the ones I don't eat. What are my top foods not to eat? Horse manure? Grass? Kale? I mean, I eat the foods I'm supposed to eat. Everything else is things I don't eat. So that's kind of a silly approach. Silly question. That's I can't even answer that. That's kind of a silly question. My top foods not to eat, all the ones that I don't eat. So I'll move on to the next question. I appreciate the question, but it's kind of like I mean, everything else that I don't eat. I don't have top foods I don't eat. I just eat the foods that work best for me, and everything else is food that I don't eat. Can I combat knee pain after squats? Well, you shouldn't be having knee pain, period. So if you're having knee pain, it comes down to, this is from the James Reed over on Instagram. Can I combat knee pain after squats? You shouldn't be having knee pain after squats. Okay. First off, you shouldn't be having knee pain after squats. If you're having knee pain, that's a problem. That's a problem. It could be something where one of the issues with knee pain is that you have a lot of muscles in your hips and in your leg region that cross two joints, that cross the knee joint and that cross the hip joint. For example, the hamstrings, the semimembranosus, semitendinosus. Also, you have the rectus femoris. So you have muscles that cross multiple joints, even things like, for example, the psoas, it's going to cross over multiple vertebrae and insert onto the femur. So you're going to have to loosen up those hips a lot. And chances are that could be coming from your hips, having knee pain. It could also come from your ankles. And that's why I recommend yoga to anyone that's having issues with posture or with knee pain, because it's just a general thing to do that will activate and inhibit muscles. So it's rather than just get right into, because of course, without having James here right now and without analyzing and looking at movement patterns and all that stuff, and even potentially MRIs, and who knows if there's previous injuries and all this chronic improper movement patterns, you can't just go and say, oh, do this corrective exercise, it'll fix you right away. But what I have found that's amazing are stretching the quads, like the rectus femoris, at both the insertion and at the origin. So doing a lot of knee flexion along with hip extension, like doing yoga and bending backwards and having my toes pointed and, stretching back, using the yoga wheel, for example, has been a game changer. I love sissy squats. I do them regularly. A lot of mobility. And most often people don't stretch those two joint muscles at the origin and the insertion. So you have like this remaining lingering tightness or adhesions, whether it's with the TFL or the IT band, or whether it's instability with the anterior tibialis. A lot of people they do one or the other. They do corrective exercise, but they don't do proper integration. Or they do a lot of general stretching, but they don't do corrective and focused isolation to strengthen imbalanced muscle groups. So it takes a lot of focus. And if you have knee pain after squats, you have something going on, and it's really hard to answer that question, but you shouldn't be having knee pain after squats. You really shouldn't be having knee pain, period. And someone said someone said this, I saw someone say it's a product of getting old. Fuck that shit. Hey, some of us getting old and crack more than a glow stick. Cracking has nothing to do with pain. My ankle cracks all the time. It has for 15 years, but it's never hurt. So usually with the body, no pain, no problem. That's a general phrase, but it doesn't mean that it's good. It could be something that wears down over time. And sure, as you get older, you are going to degenerate. You're going to have things that start to slowly decline. It's called dying. However, you can resist this and you can, quote, battle against it and increase your longevity. You can increase your mobility. You can decrease pressure on the joints. And this is why I keep saying that people do training. They do strength training but they approach it with diminishing returns. People keep on trying to go stronger and go heavier and lift more and do more weight and push and get that PR and get the next PR and get the next PR. And I'm 37 years old, so I'm not old. I feel fucking great. But the desire to try to squat 400 pounds is not even close to there. It's not even close. I have no desire to do that. That's completely unnecessary. Can you do it? Sure. Is that admirable? Sure, it depends. But I've never liked going that heavy and never felt good. Just from a physiological standpoint, it never felt good to go that heavy on that specific exercise. I've never been a big fan of back squats. Never really liked them. I've always had the most issues with back squats, even with good form. I've done tons of videos. I've done tons of analysis, and it's just never been something that I really like maintaining. I do love front squats, and I love kettlebell swings. Like, I'd rather go heavy on kettlebell swings, do single leg pistol squats, do sissy squats, do step back lunges, curtsy lunges, Bulgarian split squats. I love those a lot more, and they're a lot safer. And I think they're a lot more longevous than doing heavy back squats. A lot of people have problems when they get older because you just wear your shit down a lot. And I'm not saying that you can't do it properly and you can't do it safely, but it's definitely a higher risk, especially if you keep on having that ego mentality where more. So of course you can do it right. And of course I'll do back squats again. It's not like I'm never going to do back squats again the rest of my life. I just don't think it's necessarily the right way to think about your training in terms of just lifting heavier and heavier and heavier. So your body's telling you something. If you have knee pain after squats, your body is saying something's fucked up. It's a warning sign, so you have to pay attention. And if you ignore it consistently, you're going to pay the price in eventually. And I don't want to see that happen. So Just be careful with that. All right. Be careful of that.
And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives.
Oh, this soundboard game is getting fucking intense. Taking it up a notch. Anna L. I found I relieve knee pain by using a foam roller on my IT band. And interestingly enough, usually that's from the muscles that are attaching onto it, like the vastus lateralis. It's very hard to loosen up the actual IT band because that connective tissue, the iliotibial band, is strong enough to pull like a fucking tractor trailer. So you're really loosening up the muscles around it, namely the tensor fasciae lata right up there on the anterior superior iliac spine, right up there on the top by the hip on the side. And also the vastus lateralis can have a lot of adhesions onto the IT band. So good shit. Absolutely true, Matthew. And of course, it could be coming at the ankle too. If you have limited ankle mobility, you're going to lean forward a lot and you can put a lot more pressure on your knees. And a lot of people that have ankle mobility issues will start to have knee caving in and instability in the hips that will cause a lot of pain in the knees over time. So Matthew says, could be something as simple as foot placement and posture or shit form with going too heavy before you lock in the fundamental motions. It could be. It could be, for sure. What the hell are Spanish squats? I love me some Spanish squats for warm-ups with my knees. I've never heard of... My entire life has been fitness and exercise. I've never heard of Spanish squats before. The fuck are those? Is there another name for them? I'd have to Google that. Spanish squats. I like German squats better, ja? Und squats, ja? I remember my first squat. What was her name? Whose name? Let's see here. All right, we got another question. Remember, if you got a question, drop it in the comments down below. Now's the time to ask me. If you want to ask me a question, ask Papa Swolio a question. Swole fam, remember, tomorrow, Jesus Christ, Super Zoom, accountability meeting announcing new releases, of course. Of course. Of course, tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time.
You are looking rather splendid this evening.
So I'll see you all there inside the Swole fam. Inside Swolenormous X. Inside the private Facebook group, we'll be going live. Let's see what we got here. I really want to know what Spanish squats are. So if you can actually define that, I'd be interested. Josh, what's the point of lifting heavy if you can't do it for decades? Well, I mean, strength is important. Strength is important. It's very important. It's very important for bone density. A lot of people end up gravitating towards swimming and bike riding and stuff, but that all decreases bone density and bone mass. So if you're doing a lot of cycling, if that's like a big part of what you do, it's affecting your bone density because you're not putting as much pressure on your bone structure. So swimming, cycling, all those things actually, your body doesn't have that overload. Of course, it depends on what else you're doing. But for me, cycling and stuff like that, it's just so bad for your posture. People have terrible posture as is. The last thing you want to do is drive a seat up your prostate and then fucking hunch over and round yourself over on handlebars. Flex your knees, hunch over even more than sitting at a desk. Yeah, it's not the best form of movement for the human body. But it can be a nice addition. Let's see. What's up, Mike? Mike Miller. Papa Swolio, when doing dumbbell curls, is there any difference between alternating arms or doing both arms at the same time? Any benefit or disadvantage to either? Sure. I mean, you'll be able to do more weight when you're doing alternating curls because you're going to have less of a forward center of gravity. If you're doing, let's say, 40 pounds in each arm and you're doing both arms at the same time, your tendency would be to lean back more because you're going to have 80 pounds in front of you and you're going to have to offset that by leaning back. So if you're doing alternating curls, it will definitely be easier for you to go heavier than if you have two at the same time. But you can mix it up. I generally don't like to do dumbbell curls at the same time. If I'm doing both arms at the same time, personally, I prefer something with a bar. I prefer doing a barbell curl. But that's just me personally. I prefer doing alternating. Plus, you'll be able to lift more weights usually with alternating, not just because of that center of gravity, but because while you're doing one... Oops, hit the desk. While you're doing one, your other arm is resting. So if you're doing both at the same time, there's really no pause. So in addition to that center of gravity, you're also not giving any kind of respite between each repetition. So your muscles, that individual left and right arm, don't get as much time between repetitions. So you can mix it up, but you're definitely not going to be able to go as heavy for 2-arm. You got it. Just my first take on it. Spanish squat, resistance band around a post wrapped around each leg individually. Oh, you mean just around your waist, around the thighs, just for... Oh, so you just mean hip hinge. I've never heard that called a Spanish squat. I like those for RDLs. RDLs are great with a band around it, a band around the waist. That's excellent for RDLs as well. Gets the glutes a little bit more involved. You can get pretty fancy. You can get pretty fancy with squats and do like lateral stability and put around your waist and shit. What I do like, I have a couple of those hip circle bands that Mama Swolio uses, you know, the ones that go really high on your waist, not the low rubber ones, but the more cloth ones that go high up on your hips that girls like to use improperly on Instagram. I like using those a little bit lower on my thighs because they barely fit around my legs because they're made for chicks doing these little hip circles. But I like doing those for RDLs. I like doing those for squats or goblet squats or double rack squats because it really activates your gluteus medius. So if you're having trouble activating or keeping your knees out wide, make sure you get one of those hip circle bands or those rubber circle bands, which are really cheap. You can get a whole set of them for like $12 or $15 on Amazon. And that will be a great cue to focus on hip abduction while you're doing your squats. Bam, 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 fuck your resolutions. We got a question from Aiden Rios. Fastest way to lose weight. Okay. Boo. Boo. Fastest way to lose weight doesn't exist. There is no fastest way to lose weight. Sorry to burst your bubs. There's no fastest way to lose weight. So, calorie deficit, eating healthy, training regularly, being patient, there's no magic pill. So that kind of question is something that's super popular because everyone wants results fast. If you ask anyone, would you like, okay, you want to get results. You want to get results. Okay, cool. I remember my first beer. Everyone wants results. Would you prefer to get results faster? I think everyone wants results faster. Of course, it saves you time. Of course you want results faster, but that's not the way to think about it, because if you try to go after your training, trying to get something faster, what are you going to do? You're going to cut corners. You're going to cut corners. So, yeah, big poop on that one. There is no fastest way. There's the right way and there's the wrong way. And there's the right way for you that works the best. There are many ways to lose weight, but it doesn't happen without a caloric deficit. It's not going to happen without eating properly. Okay. You can lose weight with a calorie deficit eating shit food, but you're not going to be healthy. It's not something that's going to be maintainable long term because you're not getting the quality nutrients in. Let's see, John. I have read years ago to avoid knee pain per back-loaded squats. If your hip insertion is naturally a bit further out, feet should be placed just beyond shoulder width. I don't know, works for me. Well, there's a lot of different things you can do. I like doing hips. I mean, I do all my stuff barefoot, but I do like elevating my heels because you can get real deep and it's really great for getting a little bit more quad loaded. I do a lot of kettlebell swings so that I get my glute work and I get my hip hinge plenty. And I have really heavy kettlebells so I can really do some real good depth sumo squats afterwards. So the idea that you have to do squats with your toes pointed forward is ridiculous. So I encourage all of you to figure out and customize your squat position because it does matter. Your hips, your thighs are not straight. They're curved bones. So having your toes slightly out to the side, the most important thing is that your knees are aligned with your toes. So you don't, and when I say aligned, it means that your knees aren't tracking in. You're not overpronating. You're not getting a ton of knee valgus. You're not getting your knees caving in. So you're driving your knees out. So generally your kneecap, your knees should be aligned with your second toe. That's a good way. So even if you turn you can turn your toes out. I do tons of squats with my toes really turned out, but I'm driving my knees super wide. I'm not allowing them to cave in. So there's many different ways to do that, but you'll be more limited with that range of motion if you have hip mobility issues and if you have ankle mobility issues. Papa Swolio, have you ever tried purple sweet potatoes? Yeah, they're good. The ones that are white on the inside are lighter. Yeah, we get them from Whole Foods. They're tasty as shit. Tasty as fuck. So good. Next question will be on intermittent fasting. Fuck that. Fuck that noise. Intermittent fasting. What do you think of intermittent fasting? Yes, I think you should stop eating so much. I think you should stop fucking your face with food all the time. Olivia Chapman, Papa Swolio. Hi, Papa. Hi, Olivia. I'm 20 years old, 5 foot 2 inches tall, and 98 pounds. Wow, you're an itty bitty. After losing 20 pounds in quarantine, I'm underweight and am now terrified to gain, even though I know I should. Any advice? Gain weight. Eat more. Why are you terrified to gain? Even though I know I should. Eat. You might need to talk to someone. You might need some extra support if you feel like you have that kind of I don't like putting a title on it, like an eating disorder, but if you're afraid, you're terrified to gain weight, you definitely need to. 98 pounds at 5'2" is way too light. So are you exercising, Olivia? Are you lifting weights? How'd you lose 20 pounds? Was it just under eating? Were you starving yourself? Were you over exercising? What were you doing? Because if you start lifting weights, you're going to build quality muscle. Like, you should be lifting weights anyway. The calories that you're consuming is going to fuel your body and is going to help rebuild lean tissue like muscle. So my advice would be to get maybe a little bit more analytical. So you're actually hitting those caloric values. I would keep on tuning into the podcast, and, if you can join the Swole fam, that'd be fantastic. I mean, you don't have to necessarily join for all the programming, but you can join for less than $3 and get a lot of support. There are a lot of people that are trying to do the same thing that you are. And it's very common to be afraid of gaining weight because you don't want to go back to where you were. But if you lost 20 pounds at 5'2", 118, that's a good weight for you. So I'm not sure why you lost 20 pounds. I'm curious. So if you can follow up with the question, follow up on that, I would. Let's see. Ryan Tolan. I am traveling from Detroit to Denver. Is it okay to do heavy squats in the morning before I go, aka leg cramps from elevation? One of my major things that I used to do, one of my rules for traveling is I never do legs before I go travel. I never do legs before I go sit on a plane. I would cramp like crazy. Never do a heavy leg day or anything crazy before you sit down for hours and hours. Detroit to Denver. Are you driving or are you flying? I mean, if you're flying, that's what, 3 hours? Detroit to Denver. It's got to be like a 3-hour flight or so. I never like doing that because you tend to get dehydrated when you're traveling. And when I say you in general, because it's less convenient to go to the bathroom. You're in the airport, maybe you're getting to your flight, you don't have time to go, you don't want to lose your seat, or you're on the plane and it's kind of a pain in the ass to like get up and go across, and it's less convenient to go to the bathroom so you don't drink as much. I used to cramp like crazy until I started supplementing and doing electrolytes when I travel and shit like that. I personally wouldn't because I don't want to just be sitting there stiff as fuck. Matthew, Papa Swolio, what advice would you give someone just getting into fitness if you only had one chance to slam a message into their gray matter? What advice? One chance to slam a message? 7 fucking pillars. Download the 7 pillars, commit them to memory, focus on them every day. That's what I would say. Aside from stop being a beesh and subscribing to the Daily Swole podcast so you get your ear holes fucked every single day with that knowledge cock, I would download the 7 pillars because that's just a very simple, straight to the point way to remember what things you need to focus on every day. You're welcome, Sarah. Just trying to do my best. Lady Blute, how are we doing? Papa Swolio, have you heard about a study? People who eat chocolate cake for breakfast lose more weight. I am very suspicious. What is your opinion? I think that's a load of shit. A chocolate cake, if they're not eating anything else and they're in a caloric deficit, of course they're going to lose weight. That's bullshit. 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 What else?
Huckleberry.
Get the fuck out of here. My opinion is that's a load of shit. That's for people that want to try to have their cake and eat it too, no pun intended. If someone's saying, oh, a study, if you eat chocolate cake, Do you want to be someone who loses weight that eats chocolate cake for breakfast? That's disgusting. That's disgusting. That's for people who want to stay fat but lose weight. That's the entitlement way to lose weight. But I want to eat my cake and lose weight too. Well, just eat your chocolate cake for breakfast. They probably just don't eat anything the rest of the day. I think that's a load of shit. Unless they have fat burners in the chocolate cake or laxatives. Booger bubble, or is it buble? Papa Swolio, I asked this earlier, so if you see it again, my apologies, but how soon after you wake up do you mess with your phone? Oh, too soon usually, because I'll set the timer or something like that. After your meditation, morning routine, or immediately, it depends. Usually I'll pick it up because sometimes I'll get messages. I used to try to avoid it. Whatever. I usually don't keep it next to the bed or anything like that. It depends on the day, but I usually use it for timers and things like that. I've actually purchased separate stopwatch timers, but I don't really try to like avoid it, like run away from my phone. Oh, avoid touching it. If you touch it and you don't do stupid shit. So it depends on the person. I don't overstress that. But if I use my phone, I don't jump on Twitter or something like that. I'll open up a timer, or I'll open up some music or something like that, maybe. Sometimes I like to open up to some binaural beats or something of the sort. Oh, Jesus Christ. Follow up on the 20 pounds lost. Olivia, I used to be eating only 750 calories and running 2 half marathons a week, as well as 3 days a week of full body. Oh, you're starving yourself. Well, that's why you lost 20 pounds. Eat more food. Eat more food. And I would definitely consider consulting with someone, because that's not healthy. You can't keep doing that. 750 calories is subhuman in terms of nutrition. Even if you're eating quality foods, you're not getting enough nutrition. So you got to be careful. You need to eat more food. You should be eating at least 1250 to 1500 calories. You should be eating, I would say, at least double with that much activity. At least 2 half marathons a week. Probably 3 times as much, to be honest. Yeah, it's way too little. Way too little. Lady Blue. I found this study on Instagram. I thought it was fake, so I went to Google and I found the study. I was like, hell no, I won't believe it until I see it with my own eyes. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. That's insane. That's insane.
What is the best move to silence a woman?
God, not you, Lady Blute, but that's ridiculous. You gotta silence. You know that's from fat acceptance. You know that's from people that just wanna. Those are from people that just want to literally have their cake and eat it too. Melissa Taint. Yes, I'm always going to add that. Is that you in The Rock's arms? That's creepy as fuck. That avatar is creepy as fuck. Someone eating cake for breakfast, for research purposes, is probably eating less overall than someone who eats cake for breakfast because they are idiots who eat cake for breakfast. Sounds about right. I used to like you before you got super political. With what? Logic and common sense? I should have used this a little bit. I used this already, but I'll use it again.
What is the best move to silence a woman?
You don't have to be here, by the way. Where's my other shit? Let's see here. There you go.
Go fuck yourself.
So, you don't have to like me. I don't give a fuck. Let's see here. APS, Trumpers went home today. Surprised? Oh, he went, from the COVID. I haven't followed. I haven't seen what's going on here. Think he'll change anything for their next debate? It depends. It depends. It's, I don't know. Are they going to have the next one? I mean, this is what the Democrats wanted. They didn't want to have another debate. You know, the illusion that Biden won the debate. Trump is a fucking interrupting asshole. We all know that. He's a fucking lunatic when he talks. He comes across as very crass and like a bully, but it doesn't mean that he's wrong about what he says. And there was a lot of evil shit that Biden said during that debate. You know, when people talk off the cuff, especially if they have 2 minutes, they're going to say a lot of stuff incorrect. So it's all about the zingers with the debate. It should be longer. They should have more time to answer. But I think it was 13 days or 14 days from when he got it. So they're probably going to postpone it. And I think most of the evidence is pointing to the debate not actually screening people properly. They didn't test either person before the debate because they didn't have enough time or something. They didn't take proper precautions. So they're blaming these other events where, the Republicans spread it like crazy. But more and more of the evidence is showing that it's likely that they got it because more people contracted COVID since the debate. So it seems like the debate is when people got that because they didn't take proper precautions. The actual commission didn't take proper precautions. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I would assume they postpone it because it's 14 days. I mean, is it the 14th day? I guess it depends on if he tests negative before that, I guess they'd still go on, but this gives ground for the Democrats to postpone it. Olivia, I've managed to increase my food to 1,050 a week. However, mentally struggling to combat that fear of gaining. I've decreased my running to 20 miles a week now. I'm back to university. Sorry for the stress. No, you're not stressing me out. I'm not stressed. I don't want your body to be stressed. I mean, think about this, Olivia. Your body is stressed because you're doing a lot of exercise. You're doing a lot of exercise. You're putting your body, under a lot of stress. You're putting your body under stress. So 1,050 calories. I know you meant a day. I know I read the week, but you're eating 200 calories a day. You'd be dead already. Well, maybe not dead. You would be a lot lighter than that. The mental struggle to combat that fear of gaining. You should talk to someone. You really should talk to someone. You should talk to a counselor. You should talk to a counselor. You should talk to, this isn't essentially, and I don't like using the label of an eating disorder, but this is a concern. And of course, everything out there is accepting of fat acceptance and binge eating. Like it's promoted. It's promoted on YouTube. Binge eating is promoted on YouTube. Food challenges and stuffing your fucking face is promoted and monetized. But anorexia or excessive or exercise bulimia and over-exercising, binging and purging, or just over-exercising and under-eating, that's a huge concern. And you got to be really careful with that. So objectively, you're not eating enough. Psychologically, you might feel like you're eating a lot, but that's just not the truth. So it's important to make sure that while you're very hyper aware of it, which is great. You're hyper aware of it, which is fantastic. But I'm just trying to urge you to take the proper precautions because your body can shut down if you're not getting enough calories. You can really do yourself some serious irreparable harm if you don't take care of that. We got some other runners here. Yeah, there you go. I was waiting for you to chime in. Oh, you did before too. Thank you, Maria. I'm a runner too. I'm running 35 miles a week. I usually run fasted early in the morning. I think finding a balance would be great for you. Oh. The Swole community is a place to be, Olivia. If you haven't, then try. Yeah. All right. Papa Swolio, what do you think of the recent declassified documents from the FBI and the Comey hearing, the smoking gun? I don't know enough about that at all. I never really followed that, to be honest. You got to be so, if you really want to keep up with all that shit, that's the thing. On the Red, White, and Swole, I'm usually just observing, kind of commentating on stuff that I'm seeing from the outside. The other stuff, when it comes to all the social justice warriors and the nonsensical left, that's very objective. It's fucking lunacy. So that's not political. That's just fucking being an American and not wanting to see this country torn apart for no fucking reason. Everything is amazing. Things are amazing in this country. They're better than they ever have been. And when you're entitled and you have nothing else to complain about, and you're trying to leverage and jockey for power by pretending to want equality, yeah, a lot of people are calling them out because they're full of shit. And you see people flip-flopping like crazy. Everyone that was like, preaching all that shit at the beginning, they realized, oh shit, I made a mistake. Oh shit, that's fucking evil. It's really coming to the surface. But of course, the mainstream media is trying to shovel that under the rug. So it's not really It's not really getting into politics. It's really just kind of talking common sense. I still have my wits about me. Oh, it's all good. Josh, things I do outside of professional help is journaling and meditation. Other people have had success with coloring. Ooh, coloring. Interesting. You know what I love? I love when people come in here and try to make it seem like I'm going to give a fuck if you don't want to watch my content. I love how whoever that Jab Burnett was, I don't even remember her name. I used to I don't care. Then what are you here? Why are you watching the live stream to complain? Seriously, if you don't like my content, literally unsubscribe, go watch something else. Get fucked. Legit. It's so weird. That's the essential backbone of virtue signaling. You want everyone to hear your complaint. You want attention. You want to be heard. Well, you're heard, and everyone knows now you're a cunt. So, bye-bye. Let's get a question again. Let's get another question. What we got? Who we got here? Fitter Freddy, what is the most important habit in order to keep yourself on track for weight loss and health? What is the most important habit in order to keep yourself on track for weight loss and health? The most important habit. It's really hard to pick one habit. I would say, well, consistency. That's kind of like just doing it. The most important habit. Well, if we look at the 7 pillars, of course, that's behind me. You got community, nutrition, training, recovery, mobility, mindfulness, and consistency. I would say, because consistency, look, you can say discipline, dedication. That's not really a habit. That kind of comes as a compilation of all the habits. So I would say mindfulness, probably. The most important habit, practicing mindfulness, because it'll catch you. You'll catch yourself before you really fall off. And it's all about reinforcing your anti-fragility. It's all about reinforcing your discipline and reinforcing your execution, because things are going to change, right? Things are going to change. Things are going to constantly change. And if you are, and this is a great question. If you are, let's bring back, hold on a second. If you are practicing your mindfulness, self-awareness, you're doing your brain gains, you're meditating regularly, when you slip up, you're going to catch yourself quickly. I catch myself all the time. If I'm a dick or I'm cranky it happens all the time. It happens all the time. It happens. I catch myself and I'll apologize, or I will work on fixing it. If you're aware and you kind of take that passenger seat and you're observing yourself from the outside, more mindfulness practice helps you catch yourself in your own bullshit. So you're less likely, if you make a mistake, which you will. And the people that are the most successful make mistakes. Okay? Everything that happens in our world, all the amazing inventions, all the progress come from mistakes, comes from things that fucked up first. That's why this country is amazing, because we've seen all the failed ways of government. That's why history is important. And that's why, unfortunately, people don't like to look at history, and we somehow, with what's going on in social and politics, people want to go backwards in time. People want to go back a couple hundred years. People want to repeat mistakes that have already been made, that we've proven don't work. It's not a good approach. People are trying to tear down the republic because of things that we know don't work, that is just lunacy. So if you are aware of the things and you're aware of your actions, you're able to steer yourself back to the right course quicker and preemptively catch yourself before you make those poor choices, because it's all a series of choices, and those choices lead to the habits. And if you're making better choices, you'll forge better habits. And if you make better habits, you'll have more dedication and discipline, and you'll build that consistency, because that's what habits are. So I would say pillar number 6, I would say mindfulness, but you don't want to say this is the most important pillar, but what you said, in order to keep yourself on track. What is the most important habit in order. So I would say regular mindfulness training. And that's just because you asked me what's the most important. So if I had to pick one, you can go with that. Community is very important too, but here's the thing. You don't always have a community around you. Even if you're not a part of the Swole fam, you need to be your own Swole fam. You need to be your own community. You need to be your own pillar number one. So let's say you can't log on to the internet. The Swole fam's still there, but what if your internet goes out and you just can't communicate with anyone? You still need to stay on your shit. Oh, I can't log in. I can't be a part of the Swole fam today. Oh no, you're still a part of the Swole fam, but that's why it's so important. You still have to do it yourself. I could give you all the programs, all the yoga classes. I can give you all the meditation. I can give you all the brain gains. I can give you all the Swollen 7. You still have to do it. So no matter what, you still have to take that upon yourself to execute. What are you guys' thoughts on that? It's a good question. That's a really good question. Thank you, Freddie. Matthew, catch myself daily and becoming self-aware makes you more self-aware. When you catch yourself and say, wow, that's happening more and more, which makes me aware of my thoughts. Bingo. I like that. Applause.
I'd be the luckiest guy alive if that did it for me.
Okay. Here we go. Another question. Tim Mate. Is that Timmer? Timmer. 9-4. Do you ever have days when you struggle for motivation to train? Yup. Yes, I do. Absolutely. Of course, we all do. But fuck your resolutions, fuck your motivation. That's why you got to do it anyway. But you don't always have to train. You don't always have to lift. And this is what a lot of people make a mistake on. So when I'm saying you should be training every day, that doesn't mean that you should be maxing out every day. That doesn't mean that you're doing a PR every day. That doesn't mean that you're doing heavy squats every day. That doesn't mean that you're doing barbell work every day. That just means that you are executing every day. So maybe today is yoga. You're still training. Just because it's mobility doesn't mean it's not training. You're still doing your training. Training is different than a workout. You're not just doing an exercise. Training is part of a protocol. It's part of a programming to get you to a specific goal or to a general goal or any type of direction. For me, it's mostly about consistency. I just want to train every day. I'm not really focused on, I want to get huge, because getting huge and bulking a lot, that has a lot to do with nutrition. And it's not healthy to fucking overeat all the time. That's exhausting. And I did that for 15, 20 years. I'm done with that to that extent. If anything, it'd be a lean bulking. If anything, it would just be filling out a little bit more in certain areas. It's strength training. It's eating for strength. I'm not really concerned with whether or not I put on 5 or 10 pounds. I'm really not. But increasing my strength and working on different types of things, your goals can change. For me, it's about executing every day. And what that looks like will depend. Maybe it's yoga. Well, yesterday I didn't lift weights. I kind of wanted to lift weights, but I just kind of felt funky. It was rainy. It just wasn't that kind of a day for me to crush it. But I did an hour of yoga and mobility. So that's a win. I trained and that helped me crush it today. And I had a fucking amazing legs and a back workout. It was awesome. So that's what's up. And yes, I have it frequently. Absolutely frequently. Well, I sent you all a picture. Papa Swolio and I were making some sick gains. I text you all that.
I'm a fair guy, but this heat is making me absolutely crazy.
Maria, motivation is fleeting. Discipline is where it's at. Fuck your resolutions. Let's get some grills here. Jeff, got the text that Papa was going live just as I started to mow my yard. Speed run time. Grass cut and I still caught the live show. And Matthew says, you mowed your fucking lawn, Jeff. Good shit. Good shit. Everyone loves some gratuitous pup. All right. So remember, tomorrow we got the accountability meeting, 12 noon Eastern time. And if you do have a question, I'm still taking more questions. Drop in the comments below with hashtag APS or hashtag AskPapaSwolio. And I'll take your questions. Bitch. Tiva, when's the last time you were beardless? Probably 5 years ago or so. 5-6 years ago. Beardless. I've always had scruff, or for a long time. So even if you find pictures of me where it's like thin. There was always hair there. I like, scrape it down to no, I haven't done that in a long time. So it was always like low, but it was just because I never wanted to get bumps and scrape against. No. So I would just trim it low, but then eventually I would grow it out a little bit and I would trim it down. And then I just wanted to grow it out. And then I'm never going back. Actually, today I'm going to be cleaning this up. Mama Swole is going to do the hair and do the beard. So tomorrow I should be looking pretty sexy. I should be looking pretty good tomorrow. What we got?
No need to stop being a lady. Quit worrying. You'll be back on your knees in no time.
The soundboard just leveled up. Got to load up my jack. Got my jack section pumped up. Let's see. These are just general. These are weird questions. What got you into fitness and helping others? What got me into it? I've been doing it my whole life. I don't even know what got me into it. Me doing it myself. And then it was me doing it myself. And then it was a job. It was like, I'm good at fitness. I'll do personal training. I love training and that's what I wanted to do for me. So I just wanted to be around it. So I started doing personal training and then I started doing other stuff and I started teaching and then I got into teaching people how to be trainers. So that was much more of a passion to me than doing one-on-one. I'm not a fan of doing one-on-one personal training. I did that for a long time. I just burned out. It's not my thing. I just don't like, I'm just not a big fan of doing the one-on-one approach, but I did it for a long time. But my real interest or what I really liked doing was teaching in the classroom, teaching people to be personal trainers and teaching them how to train clients, teaching them how to, because what's great about teaching someone to do something and doing it on a larger scale, which is why I like doing this, because you get hundreds and thousands of people downloading the podcast, watching it live. I can be a lot more effective. So this is a better way for me because technically it's kind of like personal training essentially, because I have the programs, I have the yoga, but I like the volume. I like having an impact on more people. I like it going deeper than just one-on-one. For me, I prefer to do something that has a lot more reach and has a lot more of an effect than just a one-on-one, because then it's just time versus reward. And on an individual level, people are really fucking lazy. And I literally just got tired of listening to a person's problems. And it's just, I just feel like I felt like I was a glorified spotter. You're trying to help people and they don't want to take help, or they do get results, but it's just better when you can actually send a deeper message that helps people change their health in the real important ways. So I did enjoy personal training. I'm not saying I hated it, but really what I've learned, I've taken all my knowledge and experience from my entire career, and that's where the 7 pillars have come from. It's literally the most common denominator for what people are missing. All my clients, all the students, everyone that I've ever met, these are the things that people miss. They only go for calories in, calories out. They go for, should I do an incline curl or a preacher curl? And it's like, yeah, that matters, but most people don't do the basics hard enough. Most people aren't consistent enough with the fundamentals. And I know because I've done that. I speak from personal experience. I know what results you can get with 4, 5, or 6 exercises. Amazing results. I made amazing gains just doing bench pressing, doing deadlifts, doing pull-ups, doing dips, doing the fundamentals, and it fucking works. So everything else is just getting super fancy, and people tend to get fancy before they actually get the foundation right. So I like helping more people. How do I go about increasing vertical jump? Is it possible? Of course it is. Of course. Why do people train and increase their vertical all the time? How do I go about it? I'm not an expert in high jumping, vertical jump. I mean, all types of plyometrics, depth jumps, improving your stretch shortening cycle. So all those different drills, speed, agility, power training like cleans and stuff like that are very, very important. Doing plyometrics. Of course it's possible. Some strength coaches say it's genetic. I mean, everything's genetic to a point. Some people can naturally just jump high. Other people have to work hard at it, but of course you can increase your vertical jump. Of course he can. If I really cared about my vertical jump, I could increase it. Could I jump as high as LeBron James? Fuck no. His genetics are next level. Plus, he has trained for his whole life to do that. And he's huge and, you know, whatever. Absolutely. I've never heard that you can't increase your vertical jump. That's ridiculous. Now, everyone's going to have a ceiling. People are going to have their limits. People are going to have their capacity, but you can definitely improve. Here, Matt. Nothing better than passing knowledge on to those who choose to learn with a passion for the subject as opposed to those who are just there to get the certificate and an acronym. Yeah, right? Or 2 MAs, MA, but we know how those are. When you were teaching clients, did you ever have someone that you looked forward to training? Sure. You know, people that I liked, you know, people that were just had good personalities. Sure. There were definitely better clients than others. I had some clients that sucked. And what's really terrible is if you think they're a good client and then you sign like a big package or they get a bunch of sessions and they start to be a real fucking drag. You're like, oh God, please end, please be over with. But when I was doing personal training, it was really word of mouth. I didn't do crazy. I didn't do tons of advertising because it's exhausting. It's exhausting because if you're doing you're trading your time. So if you're training, if you're working, if you have a full client base and you're training people 10 hours a day, I've done that. I mean, my longest day or my longest days or my longest schedule, because it fluctuates. And the problem is you get people sometimes that cancel last minute. It's just people could be inconsistent and it sucks. You charge them and shit, but it sucks. You're expecting someone to come at 10 and you move another client to 11 o'clock because someone's coming at 10 and then you're waiting for them and they cancel last minute. You're like, what the fuck? And then you have to wait there till 11. You have to wait there to 12. It's like, no. Even if you get paid, it's like, nah, fuck that. It's annoying. But my longest days were shit. I think it was 5 a.m. to 11. No, 5 a.m. to 12. And then I was off for a couple hours, came back at 4 to like 11 o'clock at night. This is stupid amount of time. So it was like, what, 7 hours? And then it was like 14-hour day. No way. And then getting your workout in and then sleeping and then getting up and no, fuck that shit. 12, 14-hour days. Now, of course, a lot of people work 12, 14-hour days. I used to work, there was a time when I was working 17 and a half or 18-hour days, but that's exhausting. And especially when you're doing, from a fitness standpoint, specifically, if you're training that many clients, you're not just standing there, you're lifting weights, you're moving around, and you're also trying to inspire people and get them fucking amped. And that's very draining for someone. How do you fill your own cup? How do you fill your own cup? And how do you get your own workouts in if you're training people nonstop? So then in that little period in the afternoon, either you're taking a nap or you're trying to get your own workout in. And a lot of times that's why personal trainers, their physiques start to slide. That it's very common for personal trainers to have an amazing physique or to take their training seriously. But then when they're making more money and they're working harder, because you get burned out, you're in the gym all the time. And guess what? The last thing you want to do once you finish your client is to fucking lift more weights. You're like, I want to get the fuck out of here. I used to train at a different gym because I didn't want people coming up to me. I just wanted to get out of where I was. I'd be training there and I would leave and go somewhere else, work out, and then go back to the gym or go back to where I was training clients. And no matter what I've done, people always ask me, how come you've never competed? Because I never wanted to resent fitness. I never wanted to resent my training. I never wanted it to be forced. And every time I had this idea like, oh, I'm going to train, I never wanted to be forced to eat a certain way because I had to for a competition. That never appealed to me. I'm impressed and it's admirable for people that do that super strict to get on stage, but that's not health. That's emaciation. That's or emaciated people, emaciation. I don't even know that's a fucking word, but that's really unhealthy. That's for a visual outcome and just never appealed to me. I never wanted to be forced to not, oh, you can't eat that because, you can't have too much fat. You have to cut your carbs because you have a competition coming up in 3 weeks. Like, fuck that shit. I want to lift weights because I love lifting weights. I want to lift hard and train a certain way because I love lifting hard and training a certain way. I do it for me. But when I train with bodybuilding in mind. Now I do a lot more kettlebell stuff and mobility, but it's always with that bodybuilding, even development overall. Yeah. Bow, bow, bow.
Shampoo my crotch.
That's a nice one, right? That's a nice one.
USA, greatest country in the world.
Then nice. Let's see what we got here. Dun, 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 dun. Fuck your resolutions. Dun, 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 dun. Fuck your resolutions. Dun, 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 dun. Fuck your resolutions. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see what we got here. We got another question from Rianne89. Thank you for the question, Rianne. How often should one incorporate yoga with training if they just want to be strong and lean? It depends. It depends. You could do yoga every day if you want to. How long are you doing yoga? What type of yoga are you doing? What other type of training? It depends on how it fits into your program. So how often, if you just want to be, I love how it's like, if I just want to be strong and lean, I love that. And I'm not saying anything bad about you, Rianne, but that kind of a question is like, how often should I do yoga if I only want to be strong and lean? If I only want to be like ripped and shredded? If I only want to be strong and fucking cut? It's like, that's not something you casually come across. I just want to be strong and lean. Well, you could do yoga. You should be doing yoga regularly. I would say 3 to 4 times a week for sure. I do mobility and stuff every single day. I do it every first thing in the day. When I say I do yoga for 10, 20, 30 minutes, I'll do some yoga. It's kind of mobility. I'll hold certain poses. I do a lot of, kind of like a yin mobility type flow, Swolga, essentially. Obviously, it's Papa Swolio. It's always Swolga when Papa Swolio's doing it. But I do it every morning. I don't do it for an hour every day, but I do it for 10, 20 minutes, sometimes half an hour, depending on how stiff and how mobilized I need to get. Sometimes I do my meditation and then my Swolga, and then I'll go right into my workout, or sometimes we'll come in here, we'll bang out the man cast, and then I'll go and do my workout after. So it depends on the day. Sometimes I do the workout after we do the podcast. Sometimes I'm like, it's a beautiful day, I feel good, I just want to go right into it. So then the yoga and the mobility, the Swolga, is a warm-up right for the workout. So I do my meditation, I'm hydrating, I do my Swolga, and then kind of transition, boom, right into the workout. So it works as a warm-up. And then sometimes I do the podcast and I go back out and I kind of, good shit. Yeah, there you go. Josh says yoga every day for me. Good shit. Good shit. Tiva. Hello, Tiva. Tiva, I'm a loner. Nikola Tesla. He was a loner too. Let's see. If I want a cup of coffee, I don't need other girlfriend to do that. Actually, I hate it. And the biggest oxymoron is people like me. I feel my babe and few friends are enough to be my pillars. I'm confused, but the ending makes sense. The beginning, what? If you want a cup of coffee? What does coffee have to do with your girlfriend? Let's see. I feel my babe and a few friends are enough to be my pillars. Your thoughts? In other words, Tiva, you're talking about keeping your circle small, right? My thoughts? I bet you my circle's smaller than you. I bet you my circle's smaller than yours. Absolutely. Community, mow your fucking lawn. I wouldn't call myself a loner. I'm a very private public person. I'm here all the time. I just don't go running around hanging out with a lot of acquaintances. I think most people drain themselves trying to be social butterflies. And what they try to do is anyone that has tons of, quote, friends, tons of friends. These are really acquaintances more than friends. I like having a few people that are very close to me, that I talk about, that inspire me. I keep my circle small, and a lot of people are acquaintances. I have too much of a drive and too much focus to spend my time, spreading it around with a lot of people. It's just not something that I'm into. So, yeah, of course. Small circle. Small, but absolutely reinforced. I keep looking to make sure that it's not raining. Fitness without the bullshit. However, we have gorillas, unicorns, and falcons. We definitely have gorillas. Falcons. Falcons, I'm not so sure. Oh, the falcon. That's a badass gif. Am I right? That's fucking fire. Oh, I'm European and we go out for coffee to socialize. Oh, I just make my coffee at home. I know what you mean. Well, before COVID, I guess now too, but before COVID, people would just go, you would meet people, for example, Starbucks. Now, I actually don't personally like Starbucks coffee, but it's a great place to go because they have Wi-Fi, it's comfortable, and then you can meet people. It's a great place to socialize, a great place to hang out. Of course, they have little coffee shops and those little tiny micro shops and things like that, micro brew places and things like that. So that's cool. Yeah, I mean, going out and grabbing a cup of coffee, catching up is very, 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 very classic thing to do and hang out. So I hear you. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't call Starbucks a coffee shop, really. That's why you say Starbucks. I have a coffee shop near me. Nah, it's different. Starbucks coffee it's gross. It's nasty. I've tried to like it because it used to be the place to, there's a one on every corner, but it just doesn't taste good to me. All right, we got this one from the YouTubes from Eric's. Eric's, you might be watching live right now. Usually do. Papa Swolio, lately I've been killing it. That's what I like to hear, bro.
He's heating up!
My mindfulness is better than ever. That's what's up. My workouts are even more intense. I feel ya. However, I'm gaining weight. 170 pounds to 174. Oh my God, the humanity. Oh my God, the horror. The horror. Why am I not losing weight? You're eating too much food? It's the easiest answer ever. I mean, I noticed that I am more muscular than before. Maybe I'm increasing my muscle mass. Sure. Like, do you want to lose weight? You're 170 to 170. How tall are you? Like, why would you want to lose weight at 170? It depends on your height, of course. Why am I not losing weight? Because you're eating more. You're eating a lot. And also, it might be water weight. You fluctuate a bit. I don't know any of the details here. So, Eric's, if you're watching right now, it could be water retention. And here's the damn truth. If you're training really hard and you have inflammation, right, you're causing micro trauma in the muscle tissue. You're going to retain water too. You're going to hold water. You're going to be inflamed. So it's very common to fluctuate a few pounds day to day. You could be 3 pounds heavier the next day just from water retention. You're 5'5". That makes sense. All right, you are watching live. Good shit. You're 5'5". Okay, so that makes sense. So what's your ideal weight? 160? 165? Like, what are you really trying to do? You wouldn't really know unless you're doing body fat percentages. But if you're gaining weight, you're eating more calories. And plus, it could just be water weight. It could just be water fluctuation. If you notice that you're more muscular than before, fuck yeah. But what's that time frame? Because it's not like you wake up the next day and you're 4 pounds heavier with muscle. You're not going to build more than maybe a pound or two of muscle a month naturally. And if you're crushing it, if you're absolutely doing everything correct, unless you're a beginner in your first several months, it's going to be really hard to put on more than 2 or 3 pounds of muscle, even if you're hitting everything perfectly. Plus, you'll put on a little bit of fat too, water retention. Olivia, good night from the UK. Going to do some bedtime brain gains. Thank you for helping me out, Papa. You're very welcome, dear. You're very welcome. Thank you for dropping your comment. That kind of topic really does help a lot of people because there are a lot of people out there that are afraid to eat more objectively when they're underweight. So good for you. As long as you're hyper aware of it, Olivia, and if you're aware of it, you're much less likely to just keep on sliding down that rabbit hole, but you definitely need to eat more. So, that's why you asked the question. So if you need additional assistance, you could also post up in the group if you want people to suggest different resources and stuff. But if you can, connect with some people in your area or a counselor or a therapist just to make sure that you get your head in the right place so you feel more comfortable with that because you don't want to keep on going down that direction. Good shit. All right, so Eric's, I just need some more context with what that time frame is. 170 to 174 in what time frame? I know. That was subpar. You could lay it on me. I get it. I know. Oh, my God.
I run my unit how I run my unit.
6? All right. Well, I'll take it. By the way, 2 out of 10. All right. Fuck you and your question.
If you can't be at least mildly interesting, then shut the hell up.
Oh, God. 2 out of 10. Look at this. Fucking entitled. Answer my question. 2 out of 10. You're going to insult me after? All right. Let's see here. What you responded to that, Eric. So let me see here. Just busting chops. 2 months, by the way, 2 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Sacre bleu. So 2 months. Oh, dude. All right. So if you're gaining 4 pounds in 2 months, it could definitely be muscle mass for sure. That could technically be pure muscle mass, or it could be 3 pounds of muscle, 1 pound of water, could be 2 pounds. That's a good time frame. How are your clothes fitting? And why do you care about the weight? How do you look? How do you feel? Do you look more muscular? Are you not fitting in your clothes? Do you not like the way you look? That's really good. I mean, if you look more muscular than before, then sure, in 2 months you could put on muscle. Absolutely. No question about it. Why do you burp like that? Because I want to and because I have to. Because I drink water and also I'm talking, so I'm inhaling. And I think in other words, you mean how come I'll burp on a podcast? I guess because it's my podcast and my show. And a lot of people I never wanted to create a fucking uptight podcast where it's like, welcome back to the Daily Swole podcast, where we talk fitness and motivation. Fuck that. I'm going to do it my way. I want to burp. Makes it easy. Then if I have to burp, I can. You got to set that standard. You got to insult people. Rude. You got to insult people when they walk in the door. Why do you think my content is so savage? It's because if you insult people up front by putting nuts on their chin or a salty sack, what else am I going to do to it? If you make it through that, we're fine. We're cool. If you can handle the offensive, then there's nothing else that you're cool. You can sit with us. It's fine. You got a good sense of humor. If you can make it through that, you're good. You can stay. A lot of people are too sensitive. You got to make it through the barbed wire. You got to make it through the landmines.
You ever served in an infantry unit? Ever served in a forward area?
Got to make it through. Thank you, Ren. I appreciate that. Is this guy a swole virgin? Maybe. Hey, got to pop cherries sometimes. Now and again. Everyone burps just like everyone poops. That's a good book. I should put that in my Amazon store. That's what we should do. We should do that for the Swole Fan Book Club. The first book that we're going to do is Everybody Poops. Swole stories. Jeff, APS, ask Papa Swolio. Papa Swolio, any tips on eating when I travel for work? I haven't been watching my nutrition long enough for it to be a habit. Won't be able to cook or store food for a week in a hotel. Do you have a fridge in the hotel? Any tips on eating? Well, some supermarkets and places will prepare the food for you. Sometimes if you go and you buy fish or something like that, they can cook it for you. Depends on, and I'm just throwing out ideas. If you're traveling, you could bring a hot plate. I don't know if you're driving or flying. That definitely changes things. But if you have something that goes underneath the plane, if you are storing baggage, right? If you're checking bags, I'm trying to think of the word, checking bags, you could also pack a hot plate or a steamer or something like that. You could actually bring something. All right, Jeff, you're flying. Do you have a carry-on, or are you also doing are you checking bags? So FYI, if you fly, you could bring a ton of food on the plane. I used to do this all the time. So here's the thing. I used to fly to do master classes or to do certifications. I used to teach certification weekends for P90X and Sanity and NASM. So I used to bring like 4 dozen eggs, hard boil. I used to hard boil them ahead of time. You can also get, for example, you can get one of those you can get one of those egg steamers, right? I'm just saying and then you can go to a supermarket and you can buy a carton of eggs and you can steam them. Those ones that do 6, you just put a little water in the bottom and it'll steam the eggs. You don't have to boil them. And those things are small, the little circle ones. I think one is actually called a dash, ironically. So you can get those. There's different strategies. So you can get one of those little things that can hard boil eggs for you. And you can go to the supermarket and get pastured eggs or get organic eggs or whatever. This is one example. If you have a hot plate, you're planning on just a carry-on. Okay, so you're narrowing this down. So you can look. I used to do a couple different things. If you're a hotel, and a lot of hotels and rooms have a small fridge, maybe you don't have the ability to cook. But what you can do, you can get food delivered. You can get groceries delivered. You can go to a restaurant and tell them what you want. And by the way, a lot of people don't do this, but if you go to a restaurant, it might not be your ideal food, but you can also just tell them what you want. You don't have to eat what they have on the menu. You can say, hey, I want this without, you can just, just thought of taking the Instapot. Oh, so that's a fucking carry-on and a half. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, so look, you could also bring along stuff. So here's what I used to do. And I don't think the rules have changed. You could bring food on the fucking plane. Most people have no idea that you could bring. I used to bring 4 dozen hard-boiled eggs on the plane. I used to cook all this food. I used to cook sweet potatoes. I used to bring like a pound of almonds or walnuts. I used to bring all the food cooked and I would freeze a lot of it. So it would stay cold. I would wrap it like an insulation and I would bring it on the plane. And one of those big like canvas shopping bags, like one of those from Publix or Whole Foods, one of those canvas. And they would look at it and they'd be like, hey, bulking up. I'm like, yeah, man, it's just food. It's cooked food. It's cooked food. And I would bring it and I would put it in the fridge. And if I was going for a couple days or a week, it would last me, 48 eggs, a pound of, or 2 pounds of I would make grass-fed beef patties. So it wouldn't just be loose beef. It would just be patties. So it'd be stacked in there, grass-fed beef. And I would make them at home. So 10, 12, 15, whatever. And Tupperwares and stuff, not glass. It would have to be plastic, I believe. So I would make it all beforehand and then travel. And by the time I got there, I'd put it in the fridge and already be cooked. But if you're bringing an Instapot, you're gold. You already got it figured out. So it depends on how long you're going for. If you're going for a week, you might want fresh food, or you bring food for 2 or 3 days and then you have your Instapot where you can pivot. So it depends. But yeah, I used to bring tons of food. They allow it. I mean, it goes through TIA. It's not a problem. You just bring it. Most people think you can't bring food on a plane. You just can't bring liquids. You could bring tons of cooked food. I did that for sure. If you're going to cook the food, you could bring your own raw food. You just put it in the bags and you bring it. Oh, all right. Dinner is ready. I'm ready to eat. I'm fucking hungry. Let's see what we got here. Any other questions? What about The Art of War from Sun Tzu? Oh, great book. Fucking amazing. Amazing. Steakhouse, meat, baked potatoes. Boom. Boom. Sid Baduri. Thoughts on the 10,000 calorie. Why? Great models for health. Good shit. Thoughts on the 10,000 calorie challenge between Coach Greg. I have no idea. I don't follow either of them. No idea. My thoughts? The same thoughts as anyone doing a 10,000 calorie binge eating challenge. It's fucked up that that's allowed. Disordered eating. There you go. Thanks, YouTube. Good shit. Matthew, I always feel like a Karen when I basically tell the kitchen I don't like your food, so make me mine. I can't bring food within the European Union. Shit. God damn. ASP. You got your it's not ASP. It's not ASP. It's Ask Papa Swolio. It's APS. Has somebody asked what's with the whiteboard Summer 16? Summer 16's the fucking religion. That's the shit. Summer 16. The Summer 16. That's one of the few tattoos I would consider getting, even though I'm not going to get it. Yeah, that was the first year of Swolenormous X. Fuck cookbooks. Make your food. Fuck cookbooks. We have a recipe archive that always grows, a cookbook. Here's how you cook food. Eat fucking food. Stop making it so fancy. Eat your fucking food. Figure it out. Make a fucking meal and make it. But I want variety. I need a cookbook to teach me how to cook. Fucking eat it. Give me a steak, some fucking potatoes. Fancy meals. I don't care. I don't care about overpriced cookbooks and calorie challenges. It's all for views. It's all for views. I'm all about views, but I'm over it. I'm over views. Like, it's nice. It's nice to get views. It's nice to get reach. Did anyone see today's video? Like, my shit is fucking throttled. My shit is fucking throttled hardcore. I checked earlier. I had like 7 comments on a video. I'm like, 7 comments? Oh, because I put Weight Stigma Awareness Week. Pussies. How'd that video do today? It's such a hot mess. YouTube is such a hot mess. I'm curious. Let me see here. Today's extra thirsty. We covered it on the Daily Swole podcast. Yeah, isn't that ridiculous? Today's video was great. So today's video was 10 out of 10. In other words, it's the worst video rating-wise. The worst video in the last 10 videos I posted. Why? Probably because I put Weight Stigma Awareness Week in the title. Shocker. Shocker. Today's video, yep, demonetized. Demonetized. You ready for this? Demonetized. However, the video has 134 thumbs up and 1 thumb down. No one saw this fucking video. It got no reach. It got no reach. However, when I do a video, a nuts on chin on honeybee, it gets like 600 thumbs up. It's fucking stupid. Every time I post a video where I talk about real shit, it gets flagged, demonetized, and gets no reach. How do I get 1 thumb down on a video? How does a video get 1 thumb down, but no one sees it? It's because they're not showing it to anyone. If you make a video that one person doesn't like it out of 135, you would think YouTube would think, oh, a lot of people like this video. There's probably a bunch more people in the 4 billion people that are on YouTube that might like this video. But no, they don't show it. Fucking stupid. Ugh, such cocksuckers. Such cocksuckers. It's ridiculous. Tomorrow's video is going to do bad too. It says weight stigma again. I'm going to have to change the title, see if it does better. It's ridiculous. YouTube give me the thumb down. It's such a, I just can't physically pander to YouTube just for, I can't pander for views. I just can't. It's so bad. 1 thumb down, no reach, 0 reach. No reach. You have 122,000 subscribers and 1,600 people see the video. It's insane. It's insane how much they block my content. Yet they promote that whatever, who was talking about it? They promote the bullshit 10,000 calorie challenge from fucking jabronis. They promote that shit. Get the fuck out of here. People just want entertainment nonsense. People just want to look at bullshit. No one wants to actually improve their lives. Stupid. Fucking pussies. Oh, YouTube is hardcore broken. Yeah. Super, super broken. All right, let's give away the Swole card. I'm hungry. We're good. Lots of questions asked. Lots of questions answered. Super stoked. Super stoked. All right, here we go. Swole card party. Swole card party. Let's do this.
What happened to your queer party friends?
They're right here. Oh. Scrolling. Hashtag fuck your resolutions. Who's gonna get it? Who wants an FYR? Maybe it's because of my soundboard. They don't like my soundboard. Diamond? No. One more time. Missed it. Scrolling back up. Pedro? No. Linda, 2 Pedros, but no. Josh? No. Kashina? No. No FYR? I'm just looking for an FYR. I'm looking for it. Who's got it? A 0? Come on. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on. None. Zip. Goose. Womp. Oh, nailed it. Ren, congratulations. Fucking fire. Where's my yay? Congratulations. Our very own Ren. Congratulations, Ren Farrell. I prefer to do something because I want to, not because I have to. Hashtag fuck your resolutions. Congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. That's a nice one. That's a good one. Good for you. Swole card 1612 in the subject, your mailing address. In the body of the email, we'll send you that card. Congratulations. We'll get that to you. Holy shit. Yeah, you won. I'm trying to click it. Everyone's like, congratulations. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's nut this beach. Congratulations, Ren. Send us that email. ASA to the motherfucking P. No, you can't have. Get out of here, Falcon. Protect the Tessie. Very nice. Well, you better believe it. You are the winner. Today's Swole card. It's a good one today. It's a juicy one. Very nice. Bum. Remember, fam, we got accountability meeting tomorrow. Tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. Don't miss it. Don't miss this funkin' game. The 7th of November. Ah, V for Vendetta. Good flick. All right. Here we go. I got it. I got this one. I got it. We got it now.
I don't know how to put this, but kind of a big deal.
All right. See you all tomorrow for episode 1613. Remember, tomorrow, accountability meeting. So we will not be live. We will only be inside the private Facebook group with the Swole fam only. If you want to learn more, head on over right down below to swolenormousx.com. You get started for less than $3. You can join the Swole fam and get in there in time tomorrow for the accountability meeting, new releases. But I'll see you tomorrow for 1613 Swole fam accountability meeting. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Ya boy, Papa Swolio. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing, like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands.
US
I don't need
Sunday,
rapping, I don't need
greatest
exams. I don't
country
need
in the
help,
world.
I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like.
Yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, chill. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant, on topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons out closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element.